Hi, this is, I think, my fifth or sixth attempt at making an update to my first Raw um, video, restarting Raw video. Um, it's been complicated because, well, I was sick for almost a week and a half, and also the storage on my phone ran out, and then it would freeze and not make a video longer than 2 minutes, so we'll see how this goes. um, my first video started on the 2nd of July. I was supposed to be starting Raw that day. I actually did more like Raw till 4 for the first few days because of being sick and under preparing a little bit. So because I've been sick, it's also been a little hard to tell if I've actually been detoxing or, I haven't felt hungry. I've been making sure to get at least 2,000 calories a day. Mostly fruit. I haven't actually been eating a lot of greens, and I know you're supposed to eat a lot of greens on 80-10-10 high carb, low fat raw vegan diet. So I will probably start reincorporating those now that I'm feeling a little better. I honestly haven't felt like greens for a while. Well, what have I been eating besides that? Mostly bananas because they've been cheap and ripe around here. I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of trouble finding ripe, fresh fruit around these parts. I tried to buy a watermelon, it was terrible. Everybody else I've seen buy watermelon lately has been terrible, so hopefully there will be some good watermelons in the near future. And so yeah, mostly bananas and banana smoothies and ice cream and also mangoes when I can find good ones, apples, pears, whatever is ripe. So anyway, hopefully, let's see. Oh, I've made it past 2 minutes. Maybe I will actually get to post this video. So further introduction that I didn't talk about last time, I think, some of which I didn't talk about last time. I've been a vegetarian since I was 6 years old. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 12. So, I don't know. I'm the only one in my family who's ever been diagnosed with type 1. And, of course, they told me it was genetic at the time. So I'm thinking there's a lot more to it than that. But anyway, I went vegan at about 26 years old when I got pregnant, or before I got pregnant with my son. So I actually think that going plant-based was what helped me get pregnant in the first place. I had been off birth control for around 3 years, not preventing, and other than maybe a miscarriage or two, I didn't have any pregnancies that I carried to term. So, what else? So just before going pregnant or getting pregnant, I was on a plant-based diet. Well, during my pregnancy, I actually switched back to being vegetarian because actually I had a lot of doctors that scared me away from being vegan during pregnancy. And since I'm a type 1 diabetic, they were trying to keep me on a super low carb diet. Like they wanted me to eat like 25 carbohydrates 6 times a day, like, or no more than 30 carbohydrates per meal 6 times a day. And as a vegan, like I was eating, 200, 300 carbs per meal sometimes, at least 80 carbs per meal. And my doctors were just appalled by those numbers. I actually made up a lot of numbers, so I think I would take insulin and I'd eat probably 100 and something carbohydrates, and I'd tell them I was only eating like 50, which was still above what they wanted me to. So my carb to insulin ratio was different than what they actually thought it was during my pregnancy. But my A1Cs were good. They were down in the 5.9 to 6.1, I think, area during my pregnancy. And even while just being vegetarian. And then afterward, after my son was born, when he went back to, we were trying to figure out how we were going to feed him, when he started eating solid foods, and we decided to go back to being vegan. So I'm going to be 31 in September. So 26, 27 was when I first went vegan. And now, if I had another pregnancy, I will definitely remain vegan during it, now that I know a lot more than I did at that time. It was so new to me, and the doctors scared me quite a bit. So, yeah. And then this is my third attempt trying to be raw. So, when I say raw food diet, I'm talking about, if you haven't read the 80-10-10 diet by Douglas Graham, that's a good book to read. That's where I'm taking most of my information from right now. So I'm eating at least 80% of my calories from carbohydrates and no more than 10% from fat and protein. So yeah, high carbohydrate, low fat diet seems like it works pretty well. It's been 10 days since I was fully raw. So far, I'm not going to weigh myself again until Sunday, but I had lost about 3 pounds, I think around 6 days in, so almost a week in. Try not to overweigh myself when I do crazy diet stuff. But my intention is to stay raw for at least as long as I can. I want to reset everything and stay raw if I can afford it. Is probably the main thing. That's how I end up falling off of raw diets, is usually that I can't afford it. So I'm surprised this video went this long. I should probably stop before I start boring people again. Yep. Anyway, today's July 14th, and I'm going to work today. So, okay. Thanks for watching.